Now, the official Suncoast weather with ABC7 meteorologist John Scalzi.
Winds are starting to increase in intensity. We've had some gusts near 30 right now. They're sustained south-southeast at 24, 25 miles per hour. It's the beginning of the twists in the wind that lead to the situation where we could have some tornadic activity over the course of the afternoon, certainly some waterspout activity as well. From any of the storms that are building right along the immediate coastline, there'll be quick, short-lived storms that drop down a tornado. They'll go back up into the cloud in very short order. And some of them could even be what we call rain-wrapped, meaning that there's enough rainfall around the storms that you fail to be able to even visually see the tornado drop down or the water spot drop down. In addition, gusty winds are certainly possible from some of these storms, maybe 40, 50, 60-mile-an-hour winds. And some of the storms that move onshore capable of doing some brief damage to some structures like pool cages, things like that. So, if you can, stay indoors until all of this stuff passes by in the afternoon, and you'll be happy you did. A lot of rainfall just off the coast right now. Those storms moving parallel to the coast, but some beginning to move onshore right along the Keys. Some of them pretty heavy. Anna Marie Island seeing some heavy rain. Also down around Venice seeing some heavy rain. Some big thunderstorm activity in central Sarasota. You can see these storms moving onshore, and the signal marker here on our Doppler radar of strong updrafts indicating some pretty good downpours, torrential downpours, in fact, of rain, as well as some rotation in the clouds indicated on some velocity signatures. Thunderstorms over Anna Marie Island producing some very heavy rain, as you just saw in our live shot there with Rebecca. These storms will lead to ponding of water on roadways, and it's just the beginning. There's plenty more out here that's gradually drifting on shore, all part of the circulation around Hermine. We're beginning to see a very clear signature of the eye of this storm now. It's about a 60-mile across storm eye, and it's heading in a direction that is pretty much dead on track for from the Hurricane Center, heading right up toward Apalachicola, meaning that this whole area of the Big Bend region will see the heaviest of the storms as they move on shore. They can get a 5, 6, 8-foot storm surge depending on how strong this storm becomes as it moves up there. So it's going to be a real rough time for folks up around Cedar Key and Apalachicola. The whole storm system, again, has a lot more rainfall than is visible on radar, so that's one of the threats with this storm for us, is more rains that could produce perhaps as much as, well, by the time it's all said and done, Friday afternoon or so, as much as another 6, 7 inches of rainfall or more. We had one indication in a town called Seminole in Pinellas County of a 13-inch rainfall yesterday. Right now, 29.26 inches of mercury, down a little bit from an hour ago, indicating perhaps we'll see those wind speeds, which are being held at 65, increase just a little bit with the next advisory. Forecast track remains fairly unchanged, the cone narrowing right around that area of Apalachicola where we could see some significant storm surge exiting out into the Atlantic by the end of the weekend, and then not a problem as it moves out into the areas of the open Atlantic. This RPM computer model of our forecast shows that the center of the storm moves up exactly as forecast by the Hurricane Center, but the line of trailing moisture is significant for us because it leaves a possibility of this training situation where we get one storm after another storm after another storm over the same general locations, leading to, again, the potential for some localized flooding on the Suncoast until this is all said and done by Friday evening. Gusty winds out there, small craft advisory, special marine warnings. Obviously, stay out of the waters. Rip currents an issue as well. Don't put yourself and others at risk. Forecast calls for excellent chances of rain for the next several days, and hopefully by the weekend, things will start to get a little sunnier around here. Scott?